Welcome to the Near Memo, a weekly conversation about search, social, and commerce. What happened, why it matters, and the implications for local. Welcome back, everybody, to the Near Memo with David, Mike, and Greg, where we talk about all things local, but increasingly that's all things Google. So perhaps we should rename the podcast. But nonetheless, we're going to be talking today about a new study that focuses on product search results and the appearance of the discussions and forums SERP feature there. We're also going to be talking about Google's statements about removing 170 million fake reviews, profiles, policy violating other stuff. And then Mike's going to dive into his explorations of Google Maps SGE. It's an AI enhanced version of Maps, which he's gotten access to, and unfortunately neither David nor I have. But I'm going to lead, and David is coming to us from beautiful Palm Desert, California this morning.
So, right. Coffee, bean, and tea leaf. Excellent service here. 5 stars on El Paseo, Palm Desert.
you didn't pay somebody in an offshore review farm to create that review.
I did not. I did not. Yeah.
Okay.
And all right. Google needs video verification, I can readily provide us.
Here it is. In fact, so in the item that I wanted to talk about, Glenn Alsop did a study of 10,000 product review search results, search queries, to test how frequently the discussions and forums SERP feature was showing up, and specifically which forums or social sites were appearing and in what which ones were dominant. And what he found was that out of 10,000 queries, 77% of the time the discussions and forums module or SERP feature appeared, and Reddit was present in a majority of those cases. It said he said that it had a 97
overwhelming majority.
Yes, right. 98%.
That's a little bit underselling.
Right. Okay. 98% of the time. Yeah. 98% of the time it was there, and very often it had 2 out of the 3 results. He also said that in 51% of cases where Reddit appeared, I don't want to misquote this, like the top, I'm going to have trouble finding it now in real time demo. Oh, here it is. Okay. 51% of Reddit's top ranking threads have spam as a top comment. So, so what's happening is that Google is rewarding Reddit, and more spam is coming into it. And 2 out of the 3 discussion and forum search results very often are Reddit. Now, he did say that there are many other forums that appear for vertical specific queries. And he goes into an analysis of what they are and how often they appear. But really, it's mostly about Reddit, and more and more affiliate links and spam are starting to show up for these kinds of results. And he concludes, which many people also agree with, that these are the worst search results he's seen to date. And the irony is that Google's sort of hidden gems social strategy, which includes more than just the discussions and forums module, is designed to address search quality, at least in part, and give people a diversity of views and more firsthand experience and expertise. So it's designed specifically to combat the kinds of things that Alsop is observing. And his recommendation, he concludes the piece by recommending that Google stop showing Reddit so often and diversify the links, or get rid of the module completely, because it's just contributing to spam.
Yeah, and I would say, I think that the module itself, just the existence of the module, is an incredible tacit admission on Google's part that its algorithm can no longer actually surface good organic content. Like, why do you need to insert this forums only module if your algorithm is actually pulling in quality reviews by human reviewers who have actually used a product and can make an informed opinion about it on the internet. So I think it's really, it doesn't surprise me that Reddit is present so often, and it certainly doesn't surprise me that spammers are like, oh, Google's rewarding this. Like, this is the ultimate barnacle SEO. We know Reddit has a guaranteed slot in every search result, so of course we're going to attach ourselves to that fixed object. So it all makes total sense to me from a why is this happening standpoint. I guess it doesn't make sense to me from a why is this happening? Why is Google, making this so easy for everyone?
On some level,
You
Google's
think Google
responding.
understand? I mean, they must understand the dialectic of their emphasis creating spam, right? It happens every time they do this. There's spam created, and yet they seem to walk into the same trap over and over and over again, where they create a module, it gets spammed. I mean, the difference now is these modules get spammed more quickly. That's all.
Well, most recently, web stories is being, deprecated because it's full of spam.
Products are now being laden with spam. Just product listings themselves, right? It's everywhere.
LSAs, as we know now, like LSAs, the ultimate spam graveyard. So yeah.
Well, I mean the Reddit, the elevation of Reddit is partly response to what it observed in searcher behavior. People were using these site operators to get directly into Reddit, to search Reddit itself, because of the complaint that the remainder of search results were not good enough. And so Google created this sort of showcase for Reddit, seemingly in response to that. Here's Reddit. You want Reddit? Here it is. And that's,
but they've also, in more or less contemporaneously, also introduced these sort of chips across the top of the search result, which they could have just made Reddit the first chip instead of devoting an entire sort of visual block to Reddit results. And I think it's just, it's, as you've said many times, Greg, over the last 18 months or so, Google's just been a very reactive company recently in that time frame. And this is like, hey, we know, like, it's like, the mouse following the cheese. Like, we know this is happening. Like, here's the easiest possible answer to this, without actually, as Mike just said, like actually thinking about the dialectic and the impact that those choices are having. So,
I mean, this chip, as we know, and was finally announced by Google, is introduced as part of the Places site rollout in Europe. And as we've seen in our early research, nobody clicks the chips. If they're looking for a restaurant, it doesn't matter what, they go to the highest valuable result, whether that's Google or TripAdvisor from their point of view, and they don't click it. So far, we haven't seen anybody click on it.
That's true, but the people who are actively including Reddit, appending their search query with Reddit or using site:/reddit.com, clearly would click that chip. I think that there's a difference in terms of people know what they're looking for versus just seeing a potential source. True. So,
but they don't solve a problem other than that. In fact, if it's offered up as a DMA solution, it's a non-solution, right?
Thanks for joining David, Mike, and Greg. To stay on top of the latest developments in local, subscribe to our newsletter at nearmedia.co. We'll see you next week.